Our next item is an information item in 7.1, and we have the recess for at exactly 5:32 p.m. to conduct the regular board meeting of the California Military Institute. I call the California Military Institute to order at 5:33 p.m. Okay, the next item is an action item, 4.1, and is the revision and adoption of the agenda for today. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Nellison, and second, Mr. Stafford. Please vote. Motion carries for 5.1, oral reports, student representatives to the Board of Trustees. And that is Mr.
Student representative from CMI, Cadet Major Mehran Hossein.
Good evening, Board President Arau. Good evening, Board members. Good evening, Superintendent Bennett. Good evening, Cabinet. It is my privilege today to present the Paris Union High School District Board, the California Military Institute. Oh, I have the slides. I keep doing this. So we had Career Day, and this is thanks to our amazing assistant principal, Mr. Elston Pine. So what happened is we had some people from outside in the workforce come into our school. And you can see some of them right there. There's the medical field, there's law enforcement, there's sales assistant manager, fire department, education and teaching. I think you guys would like that one. Information technology, business, real estate, law, politics. That's what I'm into, and engineering. And this was just an amazing opportunity for people all outside in the workforce to come here, and we get to see what we're interested in when we graduate from high school or what we want to study in college.
You had Chris Pratt there?
Yeah. Don't worry. CMI fashion show. This was just a lot of fun for me. We got to go to Friar Tux and this dress shop, and we all got to wear our tuxedos and our dresses and get to show off to our friends. Here's some awesome pictures. The one over there on the right, that's her. That's Caitlin. She's also a battalion commander. Castle Outstanding Leadership Award. So our ASB members, they went and picked up their awards, and I'd like to point out that thousands of people apply for this award, and only the top 5% get it. And so I'd like to congratulate CMI on receiving this award. Good job, CMI. And here's a funny picture of Mr. Rhodes. This is here because come on. 2017 High School Congressional Art Competition. So we had 5 competitors, and the one on the right with the bird, the one with the bird and the blue background, she got an honorable mention. And this is a huge deal. This isn't just California, but Congress in general. We have all these high schoolers competing, and she received an honorable mention. So I'm very proud of her and everyone who competed for that. It's an amazing art program, and thank you to Ms. Hawksmeyer, the art program teacher at our school. CMI APAC Spring Fling event. This is just a fun event. You know, we have the APAC committee, and they put this all together, and it's just a good time for our kids. CMI Military Ball, my favorite. Mr. Rhodes looked good in his uniform. I know. Yeah. Decent. No, I'm just kidding. He looked great. We all look great, actually. It's interesting watching these cadets. They have their hair tied in a bun all day, and then some of them have a haircut, and it's like they're always, military. And you see them at this dance, and the guys are still military, and you see them on the dance floor, and it's like, woo! I'm like, oh, wow. And the girls are like, their hair is down, they got their makeup on, I'm like, oh, you go to the same school as me? This was a fun event. Link crew etiquette training. The guy on the right, that's a guy wearing a tutu and a wig. He was teaching those freshmen. This is part of our Link crew program. We're teaching them proper etiquette for the military ball. So there's things you do. There's like pulling the chair for your date, or things you shouldn't be saying on a date, or things you shouldn't be doing on a date, or even just with your friends at a military ball, which is a formal event. So this is not just for the military ball. It can take anywhere that you go in life. State drill competition, as you can see, very happy cadets because they did an outstanding job at that drill competition. We won 2 first places and a second place, and they all took part in that, and I was very proud of them for that. Sports update, our baseball won 9-3, Army-Navy, and then softball wins 9-1 versus San Jacinto Valley Academy. Some upcoming events we have a memorial honor detail on the 4th of May. That's when we go to the cemetery, and just like any of the events on here and any from the past few months, if anyone on this board would like to attend, email me or Mr. Rhodes and we'll get you on there. We have the 9th Brigade IMAs. That's when we have adults interviewed cadets, and it's like a job interview process. I would love to have any of you guys there. Promotion board, same thing. See my pass and review and change of command. That is when I get to be kicked out and someone gets to take my job. I'm looking forward to that. No. Then we have the IMAs, same thing as the 9th Brigade IMAs. This is just at a state level. So this is everyone from California in the Cadet Corps program coming together to compete. And my favorite date that's on there, the 9th of June, 2017, graduation day. Thank you for having me on here. It's been a privilege.
Thank you, sir. We continue with our oral reports. And item 4.2 is CMI-TA, Treasurer Angel Love Parents.
Good evening, President, Superintendent, Cabinet, and board members. On behalf of CMI-TA, we'd like to thank you guys for your ongoing support and the time that you commit to us in being successful at our school. Though our school is very, very different than the other schools that you oversee in this district, we still work very, very hard for our students. We like to look at ourselves as doing the same very, very hard, difficult job of educating students, but we do it in a very, very different manner. Our students are from the same demographics and same dynamics as the rest of the district. Ours just wear uniforms. And on that brings us more responsibilities of doing uniform checks daily and requiring them to do push-ups when they are not in uniform and other fun things. Well, another part of our union also has members that we negotiate with the cabinet, and I'm happy to say that they were patient enough to stick with us, and we worked together and finally have a TA for the year. And upon your approval, we'll have one for the 16-17 year, and it also renews our contract into spring of 18. And we look forward to coming back to the board and back to the table with the cabinet on May 1st to come and resolve our sunshine items and with mutual respect and equality. Thank you.
Thank you. And now our CMI Principals Update.
Evening, President Arau, Superintendent Mr. Bennett, Board and Cabinet. So Moran always does a great job, so I can make this short. But I do want to mention one thing, and thank you for coming to our event. I appreciate it. I failed to mention this last time. So Moran was accepted to the Naval Academy Preparatory School. This guy. Right? That's awesome. In addition, he was recently asked to speak at the convocation event for all aspiring administrators in the entire county of Riverside on the 8th of May. And he and I are working together on kind of his plan of attack and whatnot. But I'm going to miss you. You only get to do this a couple more times. Good luck. I can only pick on you a couple more months, and you've done great things, and you're going to continue to do great things, and you're supported by great people. And that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. The next item is an information item, 5.1, Discipline, CMI, March 2017 Monthly Suspension Report. 6.1, Invitation to address this Board of Trustees on agendized and non-agendized items. We have not takers for today, okay? The next one is a action item, 7.1, is our consent calendar. Do I have a motion? Mr. Garcia? Second. Mr. Nellison? Second. Please vote. Motion carries 4-0. The next is an action item, personnel, CMI, certificated personnel action items. Do I have a motion? Mr. Stafford? Second. Mr. Nellison, second. Please vote. Action item 8.1 for CMI carries 4-0. Let's go to the next item. I have action item 8.2 also is personnel, CMI personnel. Do we have? This is classified personnel. Yes. Do I have a motion? Mr. Nelson and Mr. Garcia. Please vote. Action item 8.2, approved 4-0. Eight point three is also an action item, personnel, approval of the tentative agreement between the California Military Institute and the California Military Institute Teachers Association. Mr. Nelson and Mr. Stafford. Please vote. Action item 8.3 has been approved 4-0. 8.4 is also an action item. The California Military Institute submits its initial proposal to negotiate with the California Military Institute Teachers Association, CMITA, for the 17-18 school year. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Mr. Nelson first, Mr. Garcia second.
Yeah, this is a public. You have to.
Do I have hold on a second before I? Yeah, we have. I don't see anything. Where was okay. I opened the public hearing. I opened the public hearing at 5:46 p.m. Do we have any? Yeah, but I taken to meeting 8.3, and I don't see anything. Yeah. Anybody would like to talk about this action item 8.3? No takers. Okay. So I'm going to close it. I close this public hearing at 5:47 p.m. And now we can vote. And we already have Mr. Nelson, Mr. Garcia. Please go ahead and vote, please. Action item 8.3 has been approved 4-0. The next one is another action item, 8.4, personnel. And now we have this. I'm going to open this meeting for public hearing to receive comments regarding the initial proposal to negotiate with the California Military Institute Teacher Association for the 17-18 school year at 5:48 p.m. Do we have any comments? Okay, then we are going to make a motion. Mr. First, do I have a motion? Mr. Stafford, and second? Mr. Garcia. Okay, now that we have the okay, there are two public hearings. This is the second public hearing, 8.5. Okay. Excellent. So we already have the two motions. Now we open this for public hearing. If we don't have any comments, we are going to close the session for public hearing at 5:49 p.m. Correct? All right. Excellent. Now we are going to, and we have the motion, I said it was Mr. Stafford, right? And then Mr. Garcia. Now we are going to vote. Please vote. And action item 8.5 has been approved 4-0. 8.6 is also an action item from the business, is the disclosure of the collective bargaining agreement AB 1200 for the period of July 1st, 2016 through June 30th, 2018 with the California Military Institute Teachers Association. There's no public hearing. No public hearing. Okay, do I have a motion? Mr. Nelson, Mr. Stafford second. Please vote. Action item 8.6, approve 4-0. 8.7, action item, approval of salary and benefit increase for the California Military Institute classified employees. No public comment. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Mr. Nelson, Mr. Garcia, please vote. Action item 8.7 has been approved 4-0. Action item 8.8, approval of salary and benefit increase for the California Military Institute management employees. No discussion. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Nelson, second. Mr. Stafford, please vote. Item 8.8 has been approved 4-0. The next item is an information item, 9.1, other items by the superintendent. Mr. Bennett?
Nothing this evening, thank you.
Thank you, sir. 10.1, other items by the Board of Trustees. Mr. Garcia? Mr. Stafford?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank CMI for their hospitality at their career day. I had a good time. I enjoyed talking to the students. You have great students there, and be glad to do it anytime. Thank you very much for having me.
Mr. Nelson?
No.
Okay, thank you. And we go to recess if necessary. No? Do we need a recess, Mr.?
No closed session for
No
CMI
closed
this evening.
session. Since we don't have closed session, I'm not going to invite anybody to address us on items of closed session. The next action, the last one, 13.1, is adjourn to closed session. We said no closed session, and it's not an action that becomes null, right? I'm sorry? To the end. Okay, no report, adjournment. 15.1, action item to adjourn this meeting. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mr. Nelson, and second, Mr. Stafford. Please vote. This meeting is adjourned at 5:53 p.m.